Have you guys ever had a situation where you and another person, communicate well together, things are going perfectly fine from the perspective of being a friend to them, right? Not specifically relationship related, although I guess this can be a relationship concept as well, but I'm coming more from the approach of those of you and myself who have had the experience where you think that you get along with someone, you think that this person could potentially be a friend, and somehow something goes wrong along the way. But it's not just the concept of like something goes wrong and you know what it is. It's the concept of something goes wrong and you have absolutely no idea what went wrong or why it went wrong. And I'm just kind of speaking about this in video because I question it. Like 1,000%. I have no clue what went wrong. And typically my videos when I do, like, if you've seen my YouTube shorts, I do motivational audios and things like that, right? Or if I talk about my mindset or thought process, it's because it's something that has affected me. So I tried to separate myself from the situation, and I tried to apply my thinking on what could be the issue, separate to what I already believe or separate to what I may think is right or wrong, right? Just like kind of separate myself and try to consider what could be happening that I'm not aware of. And there are a multitude of things that come up, and I've spoken about this type of situation, which is a situation that happens quite often for young men, young women, anyone. Actually, I don't even think it's an age thing or anything like that. I think everybody has moments in their life where they deal with someone that is not good at communicating or chooses not to communicate, and then it just puts you in a space of, what did I do wrong? It puts you in a space of, it must have been something. And trying, again, going back to what I was saying, separating myself from the situation and trying to consider what actually it was, I realized that there's so many things that could be the cause of it, that as long as that person is not like incredibly important to your life, right, it's almost not even worth diving into. However, I would assume that everyone's been in the situation of pondering and figuring out in their head whatever reasoning they can so that they can feel comfortable or feel at peace. They're trying to figure out what it is that actually caused it. And that's where I'm at right now, right? The couple of situations that's happened so far where people have done this to me, whether guy or girl, again, these are just from my perspective and what I'm talking about right now today, these are just friends. It's happened so many times that I do question what is going on, And I've come to the conclusion that in this world, not everyone is going to communicate like me or like you. And in this world, not everyone is going to actually have a good reason for anything. Neither do they need to justify what they're trying to do or what they have been doing or what they think is right, realistically, right? If it's not somebody like a family member or a loved one, they don't owe you shit. And that's respectable, right? I get it. But sometimes I just question why. And I guess I'm making this video because as I question why, I come up with reasoning like maybe something I did offended them. Or maybe something that I created offended them. Or maybe they mistook something that I did and understood it as something else. Or maybe they tried to do something that they understood as something else that I didn't see that way. And because my lack of response or my lack of really response. Yeah, my lack of just following back with them with the same energy, maybe that also offended them. Or maybe it's not even something that offended them. Maybe it's something that's going on in their own heart and in their own mind that they're battling, and I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue. And then it makes you think, like, is it even my responsibility to figure it out? Like, is it bothering me because I need to get to the bottom of it? Or is it bothering me because part of me is thinking that it's me or that I did something? And I don't think I did anything. I really don't think I did, especially because in a lot of these instances, these friends were very receptive and very outgoing towards me initially or continuously until this abruptly happens. So I guess that's where it is. I guess it's the contrast between how they were before and how they are now. And I'm questioning, like, wow, if you were so outgoing and chill with communicating with me as a friend, you know, is this sudden abruptness my fault, being that you were so outgoing before? Why aren't you outgoing in how to resolve or how to explain or how to show me what exactly went wrong? And realistically, when I go back and pull myself out of the situation, try to analyze it again, realistically, just because someone is like good at talking with you or chill with you when things are positive, it doesn't mean that whenever they're offended or when things in their mind don't go positively, it doesn't mean that they're able and capable of communicating with you the same way as they did when in their mind things were good, right? So if things in their mind are bad, then their communication skills may just be like, hey, shut down and shut off. And again, that's everyone's right? I'm not pushing, and as I get, more experience in life, I realize that it's not my job, nor my responsibility, nor my right to push, right? I just have to make a decision, right? If that person's worth pushing or not, to figure out. And when I say pushing, I mean pushing myself to go out and try to figure it out, right? But even if they are worth it, there's some cases where you shouldn't push either. So anyway, I guess this video is going back to the concept that no one owes you an explanation for anything or everything. No one needs to be justified, and no one needs to be right or wrong. Like, they can just act the way they want to act. So if you're in my shoes, or you feel that you've been in a similar situation like this, whether guy, girl, or whatever you identify with, whatever they identify with, whatever, I just want to let you know that it's not necessarily your fault. Now, it could be, right? I mean, don't make me contradict myself immediately, but realistically, it could be your fault. But is it your responsibility to figure that out, right? Unless you did something like horrifically stupid and it's your fault, right? Then yes, you need to learn from your mistakes. But there's so many people on this planet that you're bound to meet, at least 1 million of them, that are not going to be good communicators with you, or are going to pretend to your face that they give a shit about you, or they're going to, react all good when things are all good in their mind, but the moment things aren't all good, then they don't react that way. And that is something that you have to get used to. So if you are in my shoes, get used to that and live your life. And don't let it consume you where you begin to think, why? And what did I do wrong? Because it's not always something you did wrong. And it's not your fault if it's something that has nothing to do with you. And even if it is your fault, low key, if they're not important, and that's up to you to assess, but low key, if they're not important, then just move on. Don't let it consume you. But besides the contradictions that I keep bringing up, more than likely, and this is my final piece, right? And this is going to be just a segment that I do once in a while when I want to talk, because low-key, y'all think I make these videos just for you guys, but I make it for me too. Sometimes I'd be watching my own videos and trying to figure out, like, hey, what was I going through at that point, and what did I learn from it? But my final piece is really, it really isn't, a lot of the time, it really is not your fault. It really isn't. It's because the other person is not good at communicating. It's because the other person does not know how to deal with conflict or how to resolve conflict before it actually becomes a conflict. It's because the other person is dealing with their own side, and you never know what somebody's dealing with, so you can't just jump to conclusions, and you cannot just feel that way. Bring yourself together, right? Put yourself back together. Get a grip of your mind and what you're thinking about, and stop jumping to every negative conclusion that is available to you. Because the more and more you do that, you destroy yourself. The more and more you do that, you lead to a waste of time and a waste of energy, to be honest. I think that's it. I think that's the end of my video. I hope this helps someone. And if you have questions or you think something else beyond what I've said, or you want to ask me, or you want to just talk about it, comment down in the comment section and just let me know. And I would love to hear what people think, because I would love to engage with you guys and make more videos on this, because I promise you, okay, this is the real last thing. I promise you, you're not the only one dealing with this kind of thing, okay? That's it. All right, bye.